I recall being in prayer one evening, and this was during a time in which the Lord was making some changes. Uh, he was arranging some things in my life. He was actually doing a very good thing. He was doing a very great thing, and I was very excited and very appreciative about uh, some aspects of the changes that he was making and some of the things he was arranging. But then there were other aspects of the changes that I wasn't so joyful about, because I was still experiencing and I'm still experiencing transformation. And so when the Lord is doing a thing, he everything that he does is absolutely perfect. It's just that um, not always understanding where things are going to lead, not always quite believing that all things work together for the good of those who love God, not always trusting that he loves me and has um, my best interest in mind. And so when I obey him, good things are going to follow. Um, just not always, just struggling with trusting that. Uh, I was very unhappy, very um, unhappy is the most basic word I can use. Just I had concerns and just didn't enjoy all of the process. I didn't enjoy all of the process. And so I'm in prayer with the Lord and I'm explaining to the Lord, because when you realize that there's areas of your heart that doesn't agree with what the Lord is doing, I realized that I needed to go to him so that he can wash me, cleanse me, reshape my thinking, strip me of my opposing thoughts, so that I needed him to give me grace to like what he was doing, to be able to trust what he was doing, trust that what he was doing was good and perfect. So I'm in prayer with the Lord and I'm telling the Lord, I'm confessing to him, Lord, I feel this way. I'm having a really difficult time with this thing and it really hurts so bad. I just really need you to help me. And so I'm saying these things with my mouth, but the Lord hears your heart. And so he heard my heart. What my heart was saying was, Lord, I don't like what you did. I like this, but I don't like that. Why did you do it that way? That hurts me. This is making things difficult for me. You're making things difficult. Uh, that's what my heart and tears were screaming. Even though with my mouth I didn't have the audacity to actually say that. I had to word it in a different way because it made me feel more pious, I guess. Lord, I'm struggling with, but my heart is like, Lord, you did this. Why? I really prefer that. Can you please make it like that, the way I like it? It makes more sense to me. It'd definitely be easier for me. It's hard for me to go for it with certain things I'm supposed to go for it with the way you made things happen. So as I'm talking to the Lord, at some point my thoughts shift to a assignment that he had given me, a task that he had given me. But the Lord put in my mind, no, 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 no. Forget about that. Forget about that task for a moment. But just forget about it for a moment because I still want you to do it. Forget about it for a moment. Let's backtrack. Let's go back to what you were talking about a few minutes ago. Now answer me this, Tiffany. How can you complain about what I am doing when you do the same thing that you're complaining about to me? Oh, yes, you do. I told you to do this. I needed you to do that. I needed you to focus on this, and you haven't done any of those things yet. And you do not consider how that makes me feel, how that hinders the work that I'm trying to do, how it throws a wrench in my plans. Like none of that crosses your mind. But you want to complain, but you want to come complain to me about how you want things to look like that. Well, Tiffany, I want things to look like this, and you're not doing your part to help me out with that. And so he put those thoughts in my mind, and then he says, "Yeah, you're just like what you said your children were doing." Yeah, because the night before, just the night before, or the day before, one of my children woke up at 6 o'clock in the morning, and I said, "Well, all right, that's very good. This person is focused and ready to get some things done." And then later on that afternoon, by like past noon, this one started focusing on some schoolwork. Was just getting started on schoolwork. Because sometimes I just want to see if I have to tell my kids to do certain things that I've already told them to do. And so they woke up at 6 o'clock in the morning, and then by like 1 o'clock in the morning, they were just starting on their schoolwork. And I looked around the house, the chores that they had weren't done. And then I addressed my child and I said, "You're just now starting on your schoolwork, and your chores are still not done. What were you doing you woke up at 6 o'clock in the morning. What were you doing between 6 o'clock in the morning and now?" And the child responded, "Oh, I was doing my activities. Worded it in this way to make it sound acceptable and pretty. "I was doing my activities." "Your activities? What are your activities?" And then they named some hobbies that they like to spend a lot of their time doing. And they do it well. But the thing is, I had explained to them on several occasions, and even just the week before and on other occasions, that it's important that, like, when you get up in the morning, your time with the Lord, cleaning yourself up, getting your chores done, and getting started on your schoolwork needs to be the priority. Your hobbies, that can wait. I don't want you to start on any of that until you've taken care of the things that I'm telling you are the priority. That's what I explained to my children. But yet, on this day, they woke up at 6 o'clock in the morning, and by 1 p.m., they're just starting on their schoolwork, didn't get the chores done. And when I asked them what they were doing all of that time, they were doing their hobbies. And so the Lord said, "Yeah, Tiffany, that's what you've been doing with me. I tell you things to prioritize, and you chose to pick the things that's more fun or easier for you." Okay, so I'm bringing that up because not only do I do that, or have I done that, but there's a lot of us believers who have been doing that. We do that, unfortunately, where the Lord has given us priorities, things that He wants us to focus on, things that spending time with Him, and just other things that He says, "This is the part. I don't want you to do anything else today until you get these things done." And what a lot of us like to do is we might have a desire to please the Lord and get that stuff done, but because it actually feels like work, like, ooh, this isn't so fun. I feel like I'm working. I got to put forth more effort than I really care to put forth. What we will do is we will find projects and activities that seem a lot more exciting, a lot more interesting to us. Things that we know we can do well, and we enjoy it a little bit more than addressing the specific things that God has given us to prioritize. But the Lord is saying, no. You woke up at 6 o'clock in the morning. and we want to do, I don't know, a musical. Like I'm good at doing musical. I like that. Yet the Lord told us, but wait a minute. You woke up at 6 o'clock in the morning and you spent the entire day focused on this musical, focused on this book you want to write, focused on this conference you want to plan, focus on this project this mission project. When I told you that the priority before you do any of that stuff, I need you to deal with that lust in your heart. I yeah. You got lust issues. That's why you dress the way you dress. That's why you talk to those people and interact in the way that you do. That's why you make those jokes you make with the people you make those jokes with. That's why you sleep with people who you're not in a marital commitment to. I ask you to deal with that first before you do any. There's going to be time for you to do that. That's really nice that you know, have the skills to plan a musical. But I made it clear to you that stuff has to wait until you deal with the things that I said with a priority. Right? No, no, no. I don't need you. I don't need you. I don't need you. That's why I told my kids. I needed you to do this. We're all depending on you to do this. If these things don't get done, the rest of us are affected. I really love that you're good at those hobbies that you have. But what we really need you to focus on right now are those 4 things that I told you were the priority. That's what I really needed today. And now it's going to push other people back. Things have to be shifted because you chose not to focus. It affects everybody. And so the Lord is like, no, I don't need you to go plan a women's conference right now. I don't need you to write a book right now when you're still dealing with bitterness. I told you to address that with me daily. Like, come to me. Let's focus on that. Let's address that. That's supposed to be the priority. Get cleaned up, get washed, get filled, get stripped of worldliness. Deal with that bitterness that got you thinking everybody is your enemy. Nobody wants to see you do well. Everybody's against you. People God put in your life to love you and support you and the things that He's called you to do, and you feel like everybody's against you. Like, no, I have told you to deal with that. I told you to address these things. I told you dealing with that was the priority. Before you do any of that, all that other stuff waits. All of that waits until you take care of that. And so, yeah. And because you didn't do that, everybody's affected in a bad way. Things got to get pushed aside. Things have to be shifted and rearranged. Things have to be put on hold. That was a necessity because you wanted to skip the difficult part of dealing with those issues in your heart before trying to get to the other activities that you thought were good ideas, the other ministry efforts that you feel that you're good at and that you have more fun doing. I don't need you to plan award ceremony. Some things that we plan are things that the Lord really does want us to get to, really does appreciate that we're able to do it. He gave us the skills to do it. And then some of that stuff are things that we just made up out of our fallen hearts. And if we had addressed if we had made the things priority that He told us was priority in the first place, then he would have given us clarity on that and direction and understanding. And He would have been able to shift our thinking and redirect us into something that was more profitable. So yes, I'm not making this video much longer than this. The Lord has given us priorities. And truth be told, those priorities have been made clear to us. He's either described it in the Word, He's described it through His servants, He spoke it directly into your heart when you were about to make that decision and you felt you knew that it was wrong, but you just found a way to justify it anyway. You found some reasons. You wanted it so badly that you came up with some reasons why you should do that. The Lord is asking us to prioritize in areas. Hey, no. I told you that I needed you to find a healthy church, but you still want to go forth and focus on Z when I told you to do A and B and C. You don't want to find a healthy church, but you want to still try to go forth in these projects and humanitarian efforts, ministry efforts. You want to skip over the things that I said was a priority and focus on the things you like the most. That's not going to work. It's not going to work, and it's going to cause damage. It causes damage. So I want to encourage everybody. Let's make sure our priorities are straight. It's not about what makes us feel good. It's not about what we do best. It's not about what brings us the most excitement and joy as we're doing it. It's about what the Lord is desiring, and everything He's desiring, we're not necessarily going to feel like doing it. But I guarantee you that as we submit and as we obey, as we push our will aside for His, He's so gracious and so loving and so kind that as we just obey, in spite of how we may feel about it, He rewards us with more joy, more joy in doing the things that He's requiring of us to do. Especially when we start to reap the benefits, when we start to see the rewards, when we start to see how it truly does play out for our good, whether we understood why we needed to do it or not. All we know is God wanted us to do it. All we know is God wants us to do it. And if we truly trust that His understanding is greater than our understanding, His wisdom is greater than our wisdom, His plans are greater than our plans. If we really, truly believe that like we say we do, we're going to lay our plans down. We're going to lay our projects down. We're going to put it on hold, and we're going to be obedient sons and daughters of the Lord. We're going to focus on the things that He's telling us to focus on. We're going to seek Him if we're finding a hard time. We're going to seek Him for grace to get it done, because grace is available. God is making His grace available. We need to position ourselves to get it through prayer and true evaluation of what's in our heart and what our motives are. What our motives are. Let's not convince ourselves. Let's not just convince ourselves that our motives are something that's honorable. Let's truly examine our hearts and decide, why are we doing this and ignoring that which we know that the Lord is desiring for us. Okay. You all be blessed as you seek His will over your own.